Guys, as the episodes go on, this is getting more and more exhausting. T Blue B. Username T Blue B. I know you're going to have stuff to say about this because right now I'm just like, what the hell's going on here? Hey guys, this is your girl Victoria back to you with another review of Married at First Sight, Season 13, Episode 13, called Tears, Jeers, and 25-cent Martinis. How much was Mckayla drinking? I don't know. So we get to the little snippets, okay, of the couples before, like, I guess a real scene happens. Zack calls Mckayla a bum in bed. Mckayla better than me because I'd have been like, who you calling a bum? Nigga, you the one who's the bum in this bed. Especially in the morning, and I'm not a morning person. You ain't finna call me a bum. Okay. Ryan still filming Brett's mess. Nigga, we already seen from what you posted, like, yes, she's messy. We don't need to keep seeing it. We don't need to keep seeing this disastrous of a scene, like a robbery done happened in that room and bathroom. Okay, we don't need to keep seeing it, Ryan. Thank you for showing us. What we really want to see the footage of is Brett on a damn airplane when you guys went to Key West. Okay, that's what we want to see. We don't want to see this mess. We already seen it last week. Why are you showing it? Moving on. Gil and Mckayla, they're working out. Whatever. I think she said something, and Gil's just like, wow. But at this point, Gil, that's your wife. She gonna say all this obnoxious stuff. So Johnny and Ryan, they go play pool together. And Johnny's talking about he likes that Bow's putting more effort into the relationship. They're going on dates. They went bowling. I guess in the flashback or clip that we've seen of them bowling, not Brett, but Bow was stressing that, they're having fun. They're not focused on the numbers. They're having fun. And I guess probably because she was losing in the bowling. I don't know. I don't care because at this point, that whole date and stuff was irrelevant to the whole relationship at this point. And Ryan talks about he's still not really feeling his relationship like that. He still, doesn't know how he feels. So then in the same breath, first you talk about you like that she was putting more effort into the relationship, but now you're saying it feels like Bao's trying too hard. And I'm just like, Johnny, what the hell do you want? Do you want her to try or not? So she puts in effort and now she's trying too hard, but then she doesn't put in effort and you feel like she's not trying at all. What the fuck do you want, Johnny? What do you want? You don't want Bao. Why are we still here? Can we could see you go on other dates, disastrous dates that's not gonna work. Johnny, what do you want? She does what you ask, and then now you say it's good, but then 2 seconds later you say it's doing too much. What do you want, sir? Then he goes into he's trying to stay focused on the positive, but is it bad for him to just focus on the positive without focusing on the negative? So then Ryan's just like, yeah, that's not being realistic. And then I'm just like, Ryan, get out of here, bro. Like, nobody, first off, I'm annoyed. I'm very annoyed. Johnny, you already said you have a problem of always focusing on the negatives instead of the positives. Even if the positives is 97%, you'll focus on the 3% that's not positive. So yes, for you, yes, let's focus on the positives instead of the negatives, Johnny. And then Ryan, you're kind of the same way, even though you didn't say it like that, but you're kind of in the same way where it's just like, man, like, she's just so messy. She's just so much anxiety and stuff. But in the same breath, when you was talking with your sister last episode, you were saying if it was a Victoria's Secrets model, you would have been not caring about all that shit and you would have been cleaning her mess with a fucking smile. So you too, Ryan, and now you just put all this stuff in Johnny's head like, nah, man, what you want is what you want. If it's not, it's not. Ryan, why don't you take your own advice and break up with Brett and just be done? Like Brett did with Olivia. Johnny needs to do the same thing because I'm tired of this. This is ridiculous. This is 13 episodes in, and I don't think I can handle like another 7 more of the same back and forth. So Johnny then proceeds to say there's a lot of red flags about Bao. Johnny, there's a lot of red flags about you too. You're not Mr. Perfect. You, nor Ryan, nor Zack, crying ass, and nor Jose. None of y'all are perfect. Gil, he alright. He just talked too much about his wife, but he alright. But the 4 of y'all need to go. Mckayla crazy too. I could go on about the whole cast at this point, but I'm not going to. We're just going to move on. So Johnny sits down. Well, not really sit down because I guess they were getting ready for bed. And you know, Johnny, whenever the camera's on, it's like, okay, scene, time to talk about something serious on camera. Because every time they lay down for bed or sit down to eat, Johnny always got to have a serious conversation. So, of course, who would Johnny be if he didn't bring up a serious conversation while they're getting ready for bed? He brings up, first they were talking about his date with Ryan, his date with Ryan at the pool, playing pool and whatnot. And he's talking all the stuff that he needs, communication, trust, a friendship to build that foundation. Then he goes into the intimacy. So I guess they're not having sex no more at the moment because he's saying he doesn't get anything from it anymore. And he just does it just to do it for the motions of it. And Bal's just like, that's a lie. And then we see the flashbacks that when they was playing and being flirty and stuff to get to the sex, he was seeming like he was all good and ready for it. But then again, not that I like Johnny, not that I'm agreeing anything with him, but at the same time, he did say he's a person who likes to work up to it sometimes. And because they were flirting and having champagne and playing games, they kind of worked up to it. But I guess it became stagnant to the point where they was just doing it just to do it and not working up to it. So the flashbacks that they showed didn't really defend what Bao was saying, but kind of defended what Johnny was saying in that instance, in my personal opinion. But Bao thinks Johnny's just saying something just to get worked up, just to get worked up. So she's frustrated, and pretty much Johnny just wants to do what he wants because I believe he said something to the effect of he wants to build that friendship. Bao disagrees, and I didn't write word for word what he said, but Bao kind of rebutted saying, okay, why does that have to be something what you want to do? We are in a marriage, so it has to go both ways of us kind of like compromising. Johnny gets upset. And when Bao brings up what she wants, Johnny instantly gets mad. He gets out the bed. He's just like, oh my gosh, goes to the bathroom and looks in the mirror. Bao, 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 oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, like this is what I'm talking. Like he didn't say that, but he's just like, this is what I'm talking about. This red flag, red flag. Belle's upset. She's frustrated. She's like, why are you getting upset right now? Why did you get up? Why are you why are you doing this right now? What's the point of this? We're just having a simple conversation, which you guys are. Johnny just be getting riled up for no damn reason. He just wants to get upset just to get upset at this point. Like, he loves to get upset. I guess getting upset gives him a hard on or something because you must not like the fact that Bao be having a mouth and she has stuff to say. Like, it's not just what you want. It's just like, okay, daddy, I'm just gonna do it for you. Whatever you want, I'm gonna do it. Okay, we can do this. But because she doesn't agree with everything you say, like, you're making it hard on her for no reason. For no reason whatsoever. So she can't have an opinion. Her opinion has to align with yours. No. Sorry, everybody's different. Twins don't even have the same opinion. So what the hell do you want, Johnny? What is this? What do you want? Because you're not making no type of sense to me. I said that last week, but you're really not making no type of sense to me. Like, every episode that happens, I'm just like, you getting crazier and crazier. And I'm not looking forward to watching Unfiltered tomorrow to see what you have to say. When I seen who was on Unfiltered for tonight, which is Dr. Viviana, why she there? Because she ain't been there this whole damn season. Only like for 2 times in this whole season. Mckayla there, what's she gonna say other than, we're working through our differences, lying to the camera. And here go Johnny trying to defend himself like as if he ain't got, shit on himself. Like he's just Mr. Perfect, which he's not. Someone made a comment in the Twitter saying, well, it looks like production finally gave Jamie a new outfit this week. Yes, she probably, all those episodes that she did was filmed in one day or something, or a couple of days. And she probably told her husband, like, can you just find me another outfit real quick? Because I know people are going to talk about this. Me wearing the same dress with a different blazer on and the same shoes. But, man, I don't know. Johnny and Bao, they need to divorce. So do Ryan and Brett. So we move on to Mckayla. I guess she made Gilla dinner. The food looked good. Gil talking about, oh, I'm gonna put the ketchup on my sweet potatoes, but I'm not gonna put it on my steak. Okay, all right, girl, that's what you want to do with your food. That's why did this have to be a scene? I don't know. We move on. So now we get to where the cast is having one-on-ones with either Dr. Pepper or Pastor Cal. So first we get to Gil. He's meeting with Pastor Cal, and pretty much what I took from that whole sit down was Gil doesn't like when Myrla gets in her moods and becomes a Debbie Downer, and that's a problem for him. And the flashbacks they showed, not only with him and with, but also with Myrla when they were talking, was pretty much in the beginning of the season of the honeymoon. And when they sit down, we're gonna get more into why that is for Myrla, but it was only in the beginning, so I would have liked to see if that's really the case. Other instances later on in the season, after, post honeymoon, when they're in their actual apartments together, of her being more Debbie Downer. We know she a Debbie Downer. Like, don't get me wrong, I still don't like Myrla, but for the flashbacks, the proof, so to speak, you're only showing the beginning of the season. So I wish they would have showed later on. Pastor Cal just pretty much says to Gil and to the rest of the cast that he sits down with one-on-one with was he just needs to have a conversation with Myrla. And he tells everybody else that they just need to have a conversation, which is true. Communication is key in a relationship, but I feel like Gil was probably looking for more advice on how to get through and not just talk with her, but how he himself can be better to not let it affect him the way it does, I guess, if he wants to continue with the relationship. But that's all I took for their little thing. Myrla meets with Dr. Pepper after having 25-cent margaritas. That's where the name of the episode came from. And I'm just like, in my head, I'm just like, so you're willing to pay 25 cents for a margarita, Myrla? Is it called 25-cent margarita, or was it actually 25 cents for the margarita? Because this is alcohol, so I wouldn't think alcohol would be that cheap, unless you go to Applebee's having the little Bahama Mama for $1 when they be having those specials and stuff, and they don't even really be tasting good. Second off, first off, she drunk. Okay, she go over there drunk. Second off, excuse me, I'm like, I thought you said you don't even drink like that. Or was that just for wine? I don't know. But she says that with Dr. Pepper, so she's, got her purse with her, just walking, just all giddy and happy and smiling stuff, like licking her lips because, she got some white stuff on her lips and stuff. So she drunk. She's talking to Dr. Pepper. I'm like, I think Dr. Pepper, she was like, I really don't want to be having this conversation with you right now while you're drunk, but I'm short on time, so we're just going to do what we have to do. And Dr. Pepper asks her how's everything going with the marriage. So, Myrla thinks everything is going fine and great. Dr. Pepper mentions about Myrla being critical. Once again, they do the flashbacks, but like I said, it's in the beginning of the season, but not throughout the season. And Myrla, she's just trying to be better because she loves Gil. She's happy. She cries. And Dr. Pepper just says she needs to work on being better with her negativity because she doesn't want to lose Gil, right? Myrla doesn't really answer. Well, we don't see her answer that question, but I think she doesn't want to lose Gil. And when she was crying and stuff, I'm like, I know she's drunk, but maybe this is the true Myrla because, I feel like she puts up a facade and a wall so we don't see the real her. Like, I don't know why she got an accent like some bougie bitch when I feel like she's not. Like, down deep to the core, I don't feel like she's a bougie bitch, but I feel like her being a bougie bitch makes her seem like stuck up in a way that people can't just look into her, if you get what I'm trying to say. Like, I feel like she's purposely trying to show that she's like a cold stone, hard, cold bitch, so that way you don't see her true insecurities at heart. You have to work on that. If Gil likes it, that's fine. That's good for him. I couldn't. That's why I couldn't never be friends with Myrla. But that's his wife. That's his wife. We move on to Mckayla. She's meeting with Pastor Cal. And she mentions that, the first week was good times, but the past 3 weeks was kind of bad times. And, her question is she wants to know what Zack's ideal picture of marriage was. And she wants the happy Zack back. She mentions that again. She wants Zack to be happy at the end of the day. And, she mentions if he's not happy, then she didn't say this word for word. I'm just paraphrasing. But ain't nobody happy, bitch. If Zack ain't happy, ain't nobody happy, bitch. Because Zack will let you know through and through every day and night. Like, he's just not happy. He's just not comfortable and stuff. And, the happiness is gone. Zack is the complicated man. We know that at this point. He be crying every damn episode. And she doesn't want to be the source of his happiness. That's something he should be figuring out on his own, not with her. And pretty much, like she mentions later on in the episode, Mckayla just got a guard up because she's just not really caring about Zack, because he kind of showed her that he ain't really caring about her and doesn't see really a future with her. So why should she even care about him? And, she wants him to be happy. But at the same time, he gonna have to figure that out himself, because she had to figure things out herself, I guess. And my question is, I remember in the Unfiltered when he was talking about he's just not himself right now. I think I mentioned this before, but I'm gonna say it again. Is Zack depressed? Because it seemed like he may be in a bouts of depression, and that doesn't always mean someone's just sitting in the house behind closed doors and not really, seeing anyone. But sometimes you could be depressed and smiling up in people's faces. So that's my question: is Zack depressed? Because it seems like he's depressed, and Pastor Cal pretty much tells Mckayla to help him to be happy. I mean, you could kind of help someone to be happy, but at the same time, that person has to want to be happy also. But maybe it's just not with Mckayla. They're a toxic ass couple. We're going to see later on in the episode. They're a toxic ass couple. So I don't know. Dr. Pepper talks to Zack. Here we go. He wants the relationship to flow instead of having to put so much work into the relationship. And he wanted it to be a meant to be sort of thing, not a have to work so much sort of thing. Dr. Pepper pretty much tells him that's unrealistic. It's not really, she doesn't think things are meant to be, and explains the reasoning for why they paired Zack and Mckayla together. And my thoughts is, I can understand wanting things to be meant to be, because I have that mindset sort of, in an aspect like if it's meant to be, it will happen, but not to the point where it's like, I don't feel like I have to put any work for it to, like, I don't feel like it would be meant to be if there was no work put into it. Now, if you're putting too much work into it and it's not happening, then I can agree it's probably not meant to be. But at the same time, with Zack and Mckayla's, aspect in their relationship, I just feel like they're too much in their heads, and they say too much things where it affects the other person's too soon, because they're both sensitive AF in different types of ways. And it's like, it's not working because they're not grown. They're not mature. Neither of them, to be honest with you. Neither of them are mature enough to try to move past their little issues and situations. And I feel like Mckayla's guard could have went down quickly. It felt like it did go down quickly in the beginning, but because of what happened, now her guard is up and like higher than it was before then when they met. It's just a lot. It's a lot to unpack with these people. This is why they shouldn't even be here right now. They should have went to therapy, like everybody been saying since like few episodes ago. And I don't know. Zack wants the rest of the relationship to go smoothly, okay? And he just wants Mckayla to be herself. He doesn't want Mckayla tiptoeing around him and stuff. And I guess this is when he starts boohoo crying, have this revelation. It's just like, he realizes he's a perfectionist, and he could never, what did he say? He could never be perfect or live up to what he wants himself to be, or something like that, something to that effect. And because that he's a perfectionist and always wants to do things perfect, he pushes that onto other people, and he realizes that's what he's been doing to Mckayla, pushing that perfectionist onto her. So he feels bad, and I'm just like, Zack, you need to go talk to somebody. Like, I'm pretty sure your parents are to blame for that. And the fact that you went to like a PWI, I think that also has an effect to it, because the fact that you were technically a minority in the college, I believe he said he went to, college or high school, one of those two, that in turn made him feel like he has to be so perfect in order to live up with these Moon Blanc. Okay. And probably, like I said, his parents are probably no better. And they seem like the type of people who gonna make sure, oh, Zack, this is a A minus. This is a 92. Why this is not a 100 or 101? So he said that's where it makes it, him being a perfectionist got him to where he's at today. But I'm just like, yeah, maybe career wise, but you still got a long ways to go in regards to relationship, bruh. All that money you probably making, you need to make some therapy sessions to talk to somebody. So Myrla meets up with Gil. She's still drunk, and Gil talks to her about her being a Debbie Downer and how that changes his mood. But in my head, I'm like, is this the right time to be talking to Myrla about y'all sessions? Because Myrla drunk. So I don't know if this is gonna resonate with her by the next morning, but we gonna see. Because she was drunk. I'm just like, really, Myrla? Like, you don't seem like the type of person who's gonna get loose and then come to do the shooting. But I don't know. Maybe she's stressed and stuff. But anywho, her reasoning for being such a Debbie Downer, like where it comes from, because that's what Gil asked, is because she's an introvert, and when she gets uncomfortable, she gets in a mood. So Gil says she needs to be mindful of others and to be more affectionate when she gets in those moods. And I'm just like, so you think that's gonna work? Knowing a person like Myrla when she's sober, you think that's gonna work? You think she even gonna remember this conversation by the next day? Because you're gonna have to probably reiterate everything you just said to her today at this moment in time the next morning when she's sober and ready to talk. I don't know. I mean, yes, be mindful of others, but at the same time, this is Myrla we're talking about. So like, I don't think she gonna change. She already told you she not gonna change, and you already said other people were able to deal with it. Her friends clearly are able to deal with it. You see, her brother already done threatened your ass for his sister's shenanigans. But I guess Gil, that's your wife. Move on to Zack and Mckayla. They sit down to talk, and Zack knows he's a crier, so he already tells Mckayla from jump he can add him sitting down with Dr. Pepper another moment of crying to his long list of crying, I'm sure. And he tells Mckayla about the revelation he had with Dr. Pepper, and he needs to change. And then that's when Mckayla asks Zack about what's his picture of marriage. So his picture of marriage is, him and his wife cooking, having music on in the house, kids running around. I'm just like, okay, so from motion pictures, okay. All right. Is that an everyday to day for marriage? No. A realistic picture of marriage is in the morning, everybody running with their heads cut off, trying to get things ready so they could go to work or to school, coming home so that they could get dinner ready, kids running around. I don't know. But not with music playing, probably TV in the background, kids trying to find their pencil to do some damn homework. The husband, having a long day, like, let me just go sit down on the toilet, take a mean shit. That's the only 5 minutes I'm gonna get to myself before I have to deal with my wife and kids. Not saying he don't want to deal with his wife and kids, but just get that 5 minute breather on the toilet, take a shower, eat some dinner, sit back, relax on the couch, watch some TV, and then go to sleep to just do it all over again the next day. And then on the weekend, sleep in a little bit, maybe go to brunch, what I'm saying, go to McDonald's for the kids. Maybe drop the kids off at the grandparents' house and then have a date night with the wife. It's not picture perfect. It's not just like, just music's just playing. We're just cooking dinner as a family. Like it can happen, but as an ideal picture, that's probably gonna happen once in a blue moon because life is so busy. Sometimes when you get in it, life passes you by. Listen, we are in October 13th. Where the hell did 2021 go? That's how I feel about it because I'm just like, these months have been flying by like flying colors. So, sorry for the tangent, but he tells Mckayla all that, not really all that, but his ideal, picture, motion pictures. And Mckayla tells him that she still has the guard up. Zack seems kind of surprised. I still don't know why Zack be surprised by how Mckayla be feeling, but she just like, she just has the guard up. And Zack asks what can he do to bring that guard down. Mckayla's like, well, just his words and actions because she just feels like he's still not 100% into the marriage because of pretty much what he said weeks ago when he was talking about he doesn't really see a future with her. So that still bothers her. And he says he doesn't say word for word, I'm just paraphrasing. He's in it to win it. And I'm just like, no, you ain't. But we gonna move on to Dr. Pepper meeting with Johnny. He said he don't like who he is when he's around Bao. Yeah, America don't like who you are when you're around Bao, Johnny. Tell us something new. And Dr. Pepper said he needs to change the way he talks. Change and talk through the differences instead of getting angry and being at a standstill. Johnny says, well, they're just seeing things differently. And I just love the fact that Dr. Pepper pretty much just said, you guys are two different people. And, they need to work on communicating without being mean. No, Johnny needs to communicate without being mean. Dr. Pepper, come on, keep it real. Just like you kept it real with, was it Chris last season? She kept it real with somebody last season. You need to tell him what it is. You need to stop being such a bitch. See, that's why I can't be nobody's there. I can't talk to these people. Because I'll be like, Johnny, you need to stop being bitch, dad. Like, I don't understand what this is. Like, if you don't like the chick, just leave. For good. Like, don't go be going home, coming back, them trying to say everything in a book about Bao. No, it's probably you talking to yourself. You know what it is? As cliche as this saying sounds, when someone points the finger at you, they're pointing three fingers right back at them. That's what Johnny's doing in this instance. You the one with the real problem. You the one with the real issues. You don't want to be here because you just so used to just, pow pow, thank you ma'am, and on to the next one. So you not ready for marriage. You thought you was, but you really ain't. So now you could hopefully you realize this at this point and just go fuck whatever stick figure bitch you want to fuck, because at this point Bao hopefully is on to bigger and better things. And who do I mean by that? You already know who I'm talking about, because everybody been talking about it the past couple of weeks of who she may or may not be seeing right at this moment. And I don't see her as the type of person to be dating a black guy, but I'm just like, he probably better for you anyway. Because Johnny he ain't it. He ain't it. So Bao, before she, meets with Pastor Cal, she says in her little confessional thing that she's checked out. Bao, we trying to figure out why you even still in this relationship. But she sits down with Pastor Cal, and she admits that she feels like Johnny's already 80% out the door. And I'm just like, he's probably 100% out the door, but he's just physically just still with you just for the contractual agreement to be on TV or whatever the case may be. And she just doesn't understand why he's so intently malicious. It's because your husband's a bitch. That's really what it is. Why he's so intently malicious, because he's like a little rude boy who don't know how to express his feelings, and the only way he knows how to express his feelings is by being mean to the other person, which is like 5-year-old type of shit. You didn't see the pants he was wearing, his little pink shorts he was wearing last week? Listen. Johnny is a bitch. He a little ass kid. Like, from the first episode to now, I'm just like looking at Johnny. I look at him as two different people at this point. So, man, I don't know what to tell you, girl, other than just to leave his ass. But here goes Pastor Cal's ass, because, these experts be trying to keep the couples together at all costs, no matter what, at all costs. And Pastor Cal mentions to ask Johnny if he feels that he was ready to be married. She don't gotta ask that. She know he ain't. You know he ain't, Pastor Cal. America know he ain't. Johnny know he ain't. So what's the point of asking to just talk? And even Bao was just like, she doesn't care for the chit chat, because it's just BS chit chat at this point, because he ain't gonna give a straightforward answer, because all he do is just try to obscure giving a real answer by asking another question to just make Bao feel like shit. So Pastor Cal, what you talking about? She wants to have the deeper conversations, but Johnny runs the other way. Pastor Cal thinks it could work. He's seen worse relationships were able to reconcile at the end, and he thinks it could work. And I'm just like, Pastor Cal, why do you want it to work? First off, Can it work? If both of them really put their all into it, I guess, and really tried, technically, yes. Any relationship technically could work. Technically. But is it gonna work? No. That's the guy what you like. Get the out of here, bro. Why you want her to stay with him? She already crying because this nigga is saying. Because one thing with me, that's a deal breaker for off jump. I already told my husband this. I'm like, listen, if you didn't like me, we wouldn't even be together because I'm not gonna be with someone who tells me to my face, that they don't like me. If you don't like me, then I'm not gonna try to work something out. There gotta be some type of like there. So if you're not feeling me, you don't like me. I'm not. What we here for, nigga? I don't like you. I thought I did, but if you don't like me, then I don't like you. Um, we move on. To Brett. She sits down with Pastor Kyle, and her thing is she stopped trying because Ryan stopped trying. If Ryan were to keep trying, then she would keep trying too. And Ryan was better in the honeymoon than now. And Pastor Kyle, like I said, he'd be telling everybody to just talk with the other person. For her to ask Ryan, when did he give up on the marriage? Yeah. And what was his ideal image of marriage? And he thinks they can turn around because he's seen worse couples turn around. What type of what is this, Pascal? What advice are you giving to these females? Because they to ask them, you listen, do you not? No, he probably won't even be watching at this point. He too busy probably casting for season 25 at this point and doing season 5 of Unmatchables at this point. So he probably don't got the time to be watching all the footage that be going on because he's working on like 10 seasons at the same time. But these advice, these things you be telling these females to be saying to ask their men, Pastor God, you need to have them ask them, do you want to stay or not? Do you want to be in this relationship or not? Do you want to continue with this marriage and try to work on it or not? Because I could go back to my own nice vicinity, go back to laying on my own personal pillow that I be, loving so much, and then we could just go our separate ways and keep filming us, moving on and dating other people. Because at this point, none of these couples gonna work. Good luck to Mckayla and Gil. Well, from what I hear, we confirmed one couple stay together, I guess. But I don't have hopes for them either. But we move on to Ryan. He's sitting with Dr. Pepper, and he said meeting with Dr. Viviana with Brett at the couple week or two ago made him realize the marriage wasn't for him. The marriage with him and Brett. And Dr. Pepper just tells Ryan he needs to tell Brett in a constructive way how he feels. Not in a mean or malicious way like Johnny, but in a constructive way of how he feels about Brett, to Brett. Because you're telling everybody else but Brett. And Dr. Pepper says she doubts that Ryan and Brett even really know about each other yet. And that he's given up and she wants him to try. So Ryan, he's just like, okay, he will try. And, Dr. Pepper's going to see. You're going to see it. I'm going to do it. And I'm like, no, you ain't. Because if you wanted to do it, you would have been done it. Like, you think these little scavenger hunts is trying? Nigga, no. You said it from get-go. You wanted the sex. And all of a sudden, it's like, there ain't no sex. Nigga, if you wanted the sex, you should have tried to woo your wife to give you the sex. Like Gil tried to do with his lame ass foot rub, so Mckayla says. I don't know if it was. It seemed like it was a good foot rub, but Mckayla said it was whack. It was a 5 out of 10. But you can't just be like, I want something and then it's just supposed to happen. No, Ryan's supposed to work for it. Stupid ass. Like, Ryan's my dog, but at the same time, like, nigga, like, you want McDonald's, what you gonna do? Get in the car and go get your McDonald's, or go on your phone and order Grubhub. Okay, or ask somebody, hey, since you pass by my house whenever you get home from work, can you just pick me up McDonald's? You're gonna find a way to work towards to get it. So you can't just expect this to be some fairy tale I just want to come home and push my wife up against the wall and kiss the top of the. No, you're going to have to work towards that. Work towards that intimacy so you could get to the point where you could feel like you could just walk home from work and push her up against the wall and kiss her ass. Same thing to you, Brett, too. Same thing to her. You know, she said if he was trying, she would try too. But like, what is your form of trying, Brett? Because you seem like a kind of a prude and stuff. But at the same time, you know, she did say Ryan's not her type. You know, she might be used to people of color. You know, she seemed like the type to me. She really seemed like the type that she would be with a guy like, you know, Gil or something, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, you with Ryan at the moment. At the same time, like, you got to put in some effort too, Brett. I've been saying this from, like, episode 1. Or maybe 2, I don't know. So we get to Johnny and Bao. This damn couple. Johnny apologizes for all the things he done said and being mean to her, even though he gonna be mean to her like 2 minutes later. And he asks how can they work on their communication. Bao says she wants to be able to say what's on her mind, anything that's on her mind, and not feel judged. Johnny just looks mind blown at this. He's just like, you know, of course the dramatic music too, but he's just like, what? A woman having her own opinion? What? That is absurd. Johnny, this is why you single, nigga. This is why you single. This is why your daddy probably single too, all the way in California. Like, what was going on? He's shifting his seat. You know, Bao's explaining herself, but Johnny's just shifting in his seat, just like, okay. She want to say what she have to say. Okay. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I'm like, nigga, can you sit still? Like, for her to say that make you feel some type of way, then you need to go to where are they from? Vietnam. You need to go to Vietnam and find a chick from Vietnam and bring her to America. Get a just come and bring her to America, because then someone who's submissive AF, that's just gonna let you do whatever you want, whenever you want, and just gonna be like, yes, daddy. Yes, daddy. No opinion. No opinion. You want gourmet meal? Listen. Okay. Bao asks him if he's willing to. What did she ask him? If he's willing to be in the marriage and not run away again. And Johnny says he hasn't run away yet. Nigga, you just ran away 2 times. Probably, no, 3. 2, 3. You ran away multiple times. But he's like, that's not running away. What he says as an excuse? He just takes himself out because he doesn't want to explode. Otherwise, he's going to say something in the heat of the moment. And I'm just like, nigga, you exploded multiple times already and left. So what is you talking about? You talking about you leaving so you don't explode and say something you don't want to say in the heat of the moment? Nigga, you already did that multiple times. So what are you talking about? See, that's what I be talking about. Johnny just be saying stuff just to say stuff. He thinks he's saying stuff intellectually, but in reality, you're just making yourself look more of an ass than you already do. So I don't know what his reasoning to say that was. And Bao just doesn't want him to keep leaving. And she doesn't want him to talk to her the way he's been talking to her. And she wants to be respected. I'm like, okay, Bao, that's right. You put your foot down. But I would have probably been saying this as I'm breaking up with him at the same time. Not in a way of like moving forward, but as in a way of like, you know, I ain't going to be talked to like that no more. I will be respected. You ain't going to be talking to me any type of way you want to talk to me. And you know why you ain't going to be talking to me no type of way? And you going to respect me? Because I'm leaving your ass. I'm done with you, Johnny. I'm done with your ass, Johnny. Bye, Johnny. What's his last name? Lamb? Some? Lamb? I don't know. But she going to try to stick beside him, I guess. And she asked Johnny if he's ready for marriage. How does he feel right now about being married? And Johnny still thinks he is ready for marriage, but then he goes into the asking himself why. What did he say? Listen, there was so much notes I wrote down here. I don't even know why I wrote all these notes. No, I'm not going to be able to reiterate word for word what I wrote down in my notes. But he said something to the effect of, he asks himself why they didn't date, if they could have been dating for like 15 years by now, if they could have dated 15 years ago. And he admits that he's not attracted to her. He wasn't attracted to her back then, and the chemistry wasn't there. And if he knew that she was going to be his wife, then he knew it wouldn't have worked. Otherwise, they would have gotten a second date. Bao looks upset. Like, she just looks devastated that he's saying this. And Bao asks where do they go from here, but they don't. He doesn't really answer. It just goes to commercial for dramatic effect. And I'm just like, and you still staying with this nigga about? This is what I'm saying. Like, he's telling you repeatedly over and over, he's not attracted to you. There's no chemistry. All this stuff, bashing you in front of, with all these other people, with Ryan, with his family, with Dr. Pepper, with his friend that he visited, with probably, like, what is it going to take about for you to leave? People are saying, we're saying maybe he's just saying this so Bao could break up with him. No. First off, Bao should have been broke up with his stupid ass. Second off, Johnny, if you don't want to be with this girl, you don't even need to be here. You should have been broke up with her. Save Bao all the disrespect that you've been giving her. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, I'm fed up with Johnny at this point. I'm fed up with Bao because I'm like, Bao, why are you still with a nigga who's blatantly saying stuff to your face on national fucking TV? He ain't attracted to you. He wasn't attracted to you then. He ain't attracted to you now. The only time he was probably attracted to you was in the beginning when it was fresh and new. But now that it's not fresh and new no more, he's done. It's 6 weeks. He would have been on his 16th or his 60th date by now. For those 16 weeks. 16 weeks? Oh, not 16 weeks. Sorry, 16. What is it? 6th week. Sorry, 6th week. Because it's about to be 2 weeks before decision day. About what the are you doing? Leave. Johnny need to leave too. Y'all just need to call ends at this point. We move on to Dr. Pepper sitting down with Jose. Jose doesn't say this word for word. I just paraphrase. But he just asks, how can he be controlling to Rachel without being controlling to Rachel? Dr. Pepper says, you are controlling, and he needs to reel it back, find balance between him and Rachel. She doesn't say that word for word. I just paraphrase. You know how I do. And Jose said, when things get rough, Rachel bounces. And he wants to know, how does he get Rachel to trust him more? Dr. Pepper says Jose just needs to have a conversation with Rachel. And I'm just like, then when they show the flashbacks of Rachel just dipping out, it's because you locked her out of the fucking apartment. What, did you forget about that, Jose? You locked her, intentionally locked her out of the apartment. So technically she didn't bounce. You kicked her out in a sort of sense. And when she was feeling some type of way the next morning, you was feeling some type of way at the fact that she was feeling some type of way. Like everybody been saying, you just need to get with Johnny's ass. Y'all could just be conniving, controlling little pricks together in his little pink shorts and with your big ass truck that you feel like you have to compensate for something because you're so short yourself. We move on to Rachel sitting with Pastor Cal. And Rachel first says Jose is the man for her. I don't know how she figured that out, but sure, I guess that's what you want, Rachel. Okay. And her concern is that she's not giving Jose what he needs. Pastor Cal tells Rachel she needs to talk to Jose. He tells everybody they need to talk with their significant other, which is true. Communication is key, like I said. But you keeping it very vague, Pastor Cal, very vague. And Pastor Cal, no, Jose said she's still kind of iffy about the whole lockout situation. She still hasn't fully gotten over that because him blowing up like that kind of has her a little nervous about how Jose will be in the future. And I already told you how I feel. If he's acting like that on camera, who I can only imagine on camera and with one of the producers there right next to Rachel, I can only imagine how he is off camera. And that concerns me for you, Rachel. So you gotta think about this, what you want to do. But we obviously, from from what people are saying in the streets, we already know what your decision was, and I'm just like, why? But uh, she says if it ever happens again, it's gonna be a problem, and I'm just like, and you gonna stick beside him? You gonna stick beside him because you just seem like that girl that's you're gonna stick beside him until he gives you like a humongous reason not to. And I don't want to bring it up. I don't want to say it, but it's just like Rachel. I feel like listen. If he already showed you that red sign, that red flag, and you sticking beside him, that okay. I ain't gonna say nothing, but it wouldn't be me. Brett and Ryan sat down to talk, and Brett feels disconnected. Ryan tells her again she needs to call him out on his BS if they want things to work, but Brett kind of feels checked out, and I'm just like, you sure about that, Ryan? I mean, you did say that before for her to call you out. So I'm like, okay, maybe she do need to call you out, but from what I seen in the previews of what's gonna happen next week, she is gonna call you out, and it seems like you gonna feel some type of way about it. So I don't know if that. All right, Ryan. So you say, but we gonna find out. Rachel and Jose sit down to talk, and they talk about their little big fight. And Rachel wants to know what triggered his blow up, and he said he just needs time to cool off. He doesn't want to confront things right then and there because he's just gonna blow up like the way he did. So he just needs time to cool off, and he just tries to be the opposite of his parents because obviously we know his parents is divorced. So he wants to kind of avoid what happened. I think it was infidelity. I don't remember. I think it was infidelity of why they got a divorce, but he doesn't want to be his parents, so he's just trying to avoid that and just do the opposite of what they did so he can make his marriage last, as opposed to his parents. And Rachel says pretty much she's in it to win it, no matter what. And I'm like, y'all crazy. So the whole cast gets together to play volleyball. I think Brett's the one who made it up or who had the idea, and I'm just like, okay, here goes another activity. Can we do something more romantic for the couples to get? Oh, okay, all right. We just gonna do fun stuff, like activity type of stuff. Okay, all right. And at the moment, it was just Brett, Ryan, Mckayla, and Zack, and Johnny. So Gil and Marla show up, and then Gil had the nerve to be like, "Oh, I don't see Bao," so we know how their one-on-ones went with the experts. Gil, stop being a messy ass bitch. You being a messy ass bitch in this moment instance, like Gil, stop it. Jose and Rachel come last. They come late, and before they start playing, Bao comes out in a cheerleading outfit to root for the team. I guess Mckayla's supposed to be a cheerleader too, but she sucks. And Johnny likes it because he goes up to hug Bao. Bao was a little surprised that he hugged her. She was like, oh, maybe he's just showing face in front of everybody else. And I'm just like, no, maybe in that little instance, since y'all haven't been having sex, him seeing you in that cheerleading outfit kind of got his dick a little hard. So you're like, oh, okay, let me go hug her on her a little bit. I might fuck her tonight, just to release some sperm, to have my balls feeling light again because we haven't been having sex. But, I'm going to be mad at her again the next day. That's what I'm getting from Johnny, He just like, okay, she cute, but I'm still unattracted to her. But not unattractive enough. But not unattractive enough to not fuck her, Johnny. So make it make sense. Anywho, they play volleyball. I think Johnny's team, because it was like Johnny, Mirla, and Brett, they win. Then that's when everybody separates to talk. And pretty much all I got from it was Johnny isn't happy in his marriage. And just like, what else is new, Johnny? What else is new? So we get to this argument of Zack and Mckayla. What's the argument? I guess they were talking about decision day. So I guess if decision day was that same night that they were talking about it, they would both say no. But as far as the actual decision day, I guess they both don't know what their answer would be. So I guess because that they would both say no in that present time, that present second that they were talking about it, Mckayla doesn't want Zack to sleep with her in the same bed. So Zack feels upset. He feels some type of way about it. He's just like, well, if that's the way you feel, I'm just gonna go home. Because when they were just going back and forth, I'm not gonna go into word for word, but they was just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And Zack was just getting frustrated. He was cussing up a storm and just clicked off his little camera. So then that's when Mckayla puts on her camera. Like 30 minutes later, she's just like, since Zack wants to stop his camera, I'm gonna put my camera on, and he just been ignoring me. And that's when I guess that Zack made the decision, oh, I'm gonna go home. Talk to the ass couple, guys. So we get to Ryan and Brett. Not Ryan and Brett, but Brett sitting down with Ryan's sister. You guys notice that they both, Ryan and his sister, both kind of talk the same way. They both talk like dull animals. Ryan's sister has a little bit more life to her. But Ryan just, like, they both kind of talk the same way. So they just kind of both just talk like nonchalantly, like this. Like they don't have like no care in the world, like whatsoever. Anywho, they talk. Brett and Ryan's sister, I forgot what her name was. And Brett says she knows she's not Ryan's type, but he's not her type either. Because we know it's probably a nigga that look like Gil. And she wants to know how to move past it. So the sister said, when Ryan's put on the spot, he's just going to tell you what you want to hear. So Brett's just kind of like, oh, okay, I got that. Okay, all right. And the sister was, listen, she was honest. I wish she would have just said it like point blank straight period. Ryan probably fucking somebody else, girl. He probably just fucking somebody else at this point. But, she lays it low, gives a nice soft blow to Brett's gut. And just like, she thinks Ryan's attention is distracted. Okay? That's what she thinks. And Brett's just kind of like, I don't think Brett was a surprise, really. But she was just kind of like, well, what can I do at this point? So, we're going to have to see what happens. I don't know. But we get back to Zack, and he's Zoom calling his brothers. And I think his friend Jerron, I think that's what his name was. I think he was Zooming like 3 people. And he tells them what's been going on with him and Mckayla. And when Zack went home to go sleep, because he went to sleep in a nice, comfortable bed, and I'm just like, it seemed like the bed in the apartment was nice too, Zack. But I get what you're saying. You comfortable in your own, amenity, your own place and stuff. I get it. All right, cool. But he wanted to go sleep in his own place, and I guess Mckayla done felt some type of way about that. She didn't tell him she didn't want him to go home, but because he did go home, because, he's supposed to be some type of mind reader, I guess, Mckayla got in her feelings, done packed her shit, and left again. And even took the seasoning. And I'm just like, girl, what you gonna do with that seasoning? You ain't gonna do nothing with that seasoning, because you couldn't even boil water when you guys had the date night of you cooking at the house and stuff, and you over season and stuff. So what you gonna do with the seasoning? You seem like you don't even cook. You seem like you just go out to eat or go to your sister's house to eat. So what you took the seasoning for? Did you buy the seasoning? Was that yours? If she bought the seasoning, then it was her seasoning, whatever. If that's Zack's seasoning, go what you do. So not only you just up and left, you doing theft. You're a thief. But Zack brothers just think it's petty of Mckayla, because I guess supposedly she was supposed to be the one that was Zooming them, but I guess she canceled last second, because she loved to be canceling shit when she in her feelings and taking all her stuff and putting it in IKEA bags and moving out and whatever. But Zack is just like, this is insanity, and he doesn't know what to do. And after he talks to his brothers, I forgot what advice they gave him. I don't feel like they really gave him advice, but just for him to just, hang in there and just be better. Because even Zack says, I know I'm not perfect either, but, this is insanity. After he finishes the Zoom call, he tries to call Mckayla, but she don't answer. It said Mckayla Clark too. I don't know what that's about. Maybe because she has 2 numbers, because, in the beginning of the season she told him to call her on a different number, so maybe that's a different number. I don't know. That's where the episode ends. Next week, what happened next week? I don't even remember what happened next week. I be forgetting, then I remember like 10 minutes later. Next week seemed like gonna be the same old bullshit, different day. We got to see a sneak peek of when we get to see the infamous uh Hurricane K category 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, that sneak peek, I'm just like, Mckayla, let's listen, her with the poofy hair and pajama shorts. Just walking around the house like a mad crazy ass woman. I'm just like, oh, Mckayla, girl, no, this ain't it, girl. This is not it. This is Zack no better, but Mckayla, you look a real crazy on TV, real crazy on TV. But like I said, I'm trying to remember for the sneak peek for us for next week. Like I said, I remember Brett calls Ryan out, and he feels some type of way about it. Oh, I remember, that's what I want to say. Because speaking of Zack and Mckayla, Zack says something. I don't remember what he said. He said something. Mckayla, listen, when it was in that canopy, Zack said something, and she gets something. I'm just like, me and Zack are looking at her in that scene. I'm just like, Mckayla, what the fuck? She says, I cannot. I get. What the hell's wrong with her? What the hell wrong with her? Her sisters need to go on an Unfiltered to explain this mess. What the is that? What is that? T Blue wait, what is her name? I'm so sorry, girl. Hold on, I want to get it right. T Blue B. Can you explain what that was, girl? Cause I don't know. I saw that, I'm like, oh, Mckayla crazy. Like, we already know she was crazy, but I'm like, oh, she crazy. She crazy. mm. Mm-mm. That's it, guys. I'm done. I gotta go to bed. I got work tomorrow. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate the watch, the view, and let me know what y'all thought, especially about that sneak peek, and especially about what's gonna happen next week, because it's gonna be a lot to unpack next week too, I'm pretty sure. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.